Hey, what's up guys, it's James Diamond here and welcome back to the next episode here on Sonic Academy of how to make a Psytrance track. Over the last few episodes we've been looking at these atmospheric sound effects, creating this call and answer kind of technique and just really kind of adding some atmosphere to the track with some reverb, delay and sidechain and all that good stuff. In this episode we're going to go and do the final section of the kind of sound effects and things, as we've been looking a lot at using just audio samples and a little bit on some synths, but just using a preset. I thought it'd be a good idea to actually go ahead and create a sound effect from scratch using the Anna synth from Sonic Academy. So what I'm looking to do is basically create a sound like a transition effect, which we're going to use at the end of the bars, which we can then render it out from the synth and then put it back into the project and then add more effects onto it, which should be pretty cool. So I'm going to open up Anna. I'm just going to link it to a channel and I'm going to add in a note. So very standard, just a very starting kind of default preset. Now I have to admit I'm not the best at synthesis. I'm not really the one to kind of go for any kind of preset banks for synths or things like that, but I thought we'd give it a go. Let's have a little bit of fun as we're doing it at the same time. So let's start off. I think I'm going to change this waveform. Let's see. Yeah, this one there, this warm saw. Okay, let's bring up the volume a bit. And yeah, let's increase the voices and maybe add the width. A little bit detune maybe. That helps a lot. That kind of creates that big old sound. Let's fine tune it down a little bit. Maybe by like 8 or so, which is pretty cool. Let's turn the retrigger off. As with the retrigger on, you get a kind of phasing effect. That sounds pretty cool. Alright, let's add another oscillator. Let's just keep with the standard saw. Knock these up. And I think actually let's try adding this so it makes a chord. Whoa, that sounds a bit crazy so far. Let's knock that down like 12 I reckon. And bring the width all the way up again and a bit detune. Sounds a bit crazy. Let's take away the retrigger. And that's a pretty cool sounds at the moment. Very, very standard. Like I say, I'm not the best at any sort of synthesis whatsoever. So maybe let's see, add some noise. Kind of just adds a little bit to it. I think, to be honest, I think that is all that we really need from this, to be honest. Very, very simple. I just wanted a nice kind of saw sound, super saw sounds that I'm then going to use. So, as that's all we need to do. Oh, sorry, a bit loud. So I'm just going to now render this out. So I'm just rendering the pattern. There we go. Now if I go into my folder here, there we go, here it is. So that is all that it's going to be really, and let's just get that in the right place. So as it's, you know, it sounds pretty terrible as it is right now. So let's just rename that, and then we can relink this, and let's turn off Anna. I'll leave this in the project. so you guys can take a look at it as well. I just need to turn the snap back. There we go. Pretty terrible, nothing much to it, so let's go ahead and add some effects. So we're just going to add some EQ. And I think before we do the EQ, let's send it out wide. Let's send it 17.1, which is my favourite width. There we go, nice and wide. Now let's add a little bit of delay, just to help it along, and then let's go ahead and add some reverb. Take the low cut off. Yeah, pretty decent, sounds alright. So what I really wanted to get out of it, I mean, it didn't matter too much what the actual sound was like, it's the way that I wanted to manipulate it afterwards. So now that I've got this audio, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a high pass filter, and I think, oh, turn the stretch back off. I'll use a high pass filter and I'm going to just filter it down. So if we listen to this, so you get that very cool kind of backwards sucking effect almost. If I add some resonance as well, that will really help the filter give that sound. And then on top of that, I don't want the start of it to come through as strong as it is, because it's very high, because we've taken off all the low. It's just the high end, it's a bit piercing on the ears. So maybe if I just bring down the volume. There we go. So as you can hear, it's got that very cool backwards sucking effect, and that will help quite a lot during these extra little breaks. So that sounds quite nice. So I'll just pull this back up and let's have a listen with everything else in the mix. So that works quite nicely as just an extra little sound effect, transition effect that we can use throughout the project. It's that kind of leading sound that leads you into the break and then the return back to the start of the loop. So that's pretty cool. So there we go. So that is pretty much all I'm going to do on the sound effects section. After this, we're going to start to move on to some kind of more melodic sections of the track and some acid lines and things like that. So make sure to join me in the next episode. Cheers.